Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the finest thing to hit the internet since the Ouya video game console. It's the Benjamin Buttbutter Premium Cinema Extravaganza with special guests, Shania and Mark Twain.
Wait! Where's Dr. Phil?
I am your enigmatic announcer, Bovon Fingerman, and my prostate's swollen up like a f***ing mushmelon. Now, please welcome your revolting host. He's even broker than the kids from that Gummo movie. It's, Bodie Boy Barkley.
I am higher than Jelly Roll's blood pressure.
Brrr! Which one of you asswipes ate my last stuffed pigeon?
Bro, I thought that was a Cornish game hen.
Yo, Barry, are we using different cameras today or something? Bro, you look like David Koechner's fat suit.
Piss off. Okay, folks, for today's episode, we're going all the way back to 1990 for Steve Barron's kid-friendly money grab, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
You telling me they let that guy direct a kid's movie?
Barron. Steve Barron. Different guy. Now, in order to fully unpack this movie, it's important that we first cover some of the historical context, especially since old Barry was an eyewitness to the late 80s turtle craze.
I still have every issue of the Ninja Turtles comic, Barry.
But wouldn't you have been in like your mid-40s when the comics first came onto the scene, Bovon?
I don't appreciate your tone, shitfly.
Look, the whole turtle craze begins as a goddamn joke between Kevin Eastman and Peter Laird, who came up with the idea of Ninja Turtles mainly in order to satirize the ninjutsu obsession in Frank Miller's comics and the mutant trope from the contemporary Marvel comics. For those of you who don't remember, mixed martial arts wasn't really a thing in the 1980s, and America was consumed with ninja mania because it was generally believed that if you knew karate or ninjutsu, you could whip anybody's ass. Yeah, so Eastman and Laird saw a perfect opportunity to capitalize on the obsession.
Yo, if you want a full history, you may want to check out this video from that crackhead who likes to talk about toys.
Pack a lunch, folks. Toy Man's video is like 2 hours long, but it's pretty good. Link in description.
So the first issue of Ninja Turtles came out in 1984, and within a few years, the series had become shockingly successful.
Eastman and Laird's turtle stories were so hot that pretty soon they were approached by Playmates Toys, who offered to produce a line of action figures, but on the condition that a cartoon series had to be constructed in order to serve as a vehicle for selling the toys. I'm guessing most of you remember watching this crap back when you were a bunch of smelly, underperforming school children.
Yeah, and I still remember the Christmas when I was 6 years old. My mama walked all the way to Kmart just to keister a VHS copy of that cartoon and put it under our Christmas shrub.
God damn, Barry! Our family didn't have much money growing up either, but we at least got to have some Ninja Turtle knockoffs.
Barry, I bet you wore that cassette plumb out, cuz.
Well, see, we never actually got a VCR like Mama promised, but I must have read that box like 1,000 times. Greatest Christmas I ever had.
Jesus fist fucking Christ, Barry. Where did you grow up? The Narrows?
Yeah, but just like Bovon said, the cartoon was really just a vehicle for the toys. Oh, yes, friends. We all remember those wonderful toys. Well, there was Leonardo. He was based on Stephen Hawking. And then you got Michelangelo. He was sort of like the dumbass Keanu of the group. And then you got Giovanni and Crazy Pete.
Barry, those aren't their names. What's the matter, bro? Your mom didn't keister you any action figures?
Listen, little Barry was working long hours over at the foundry, and Daddy lost all his money betting on the possum fights. If I wanted toys, I had to whittle them myself during recess.
On the plus side, Barry, you spent a lot of time down in the sewer, so you had the perfect environment for pretending you were a Ninja Turtle.
Well, I was only down there for the summer months. See, it's a few degrees cooler down in the sewer, and it's not that bad. In fact, if you think about it, it's actually kind of cool that I was brave enough to...
No, don't even try it, Barry. Tell him about production.
Yeah, So during the proliferation of Turtles-based media, a number of wild-ass ideas get kicked around for a filmic adaptation.
Including Roger Corman's alleged idea, which was to dye the skin of some actors green and have Sam Kinison, Bobcat Goldthwait, Billy Crystal, and Gallagher dub their lines. Oh, and allegedly, at one point the Turtles would battle a bunch of nuns on roller skates with their big old titties exposed and flopping around.
You doing a bit there, Pug Pigsley?
But it's not a bit, shit-ass. I can't make this stuff up.
Holy corn-blowing Christ! Why couldn't we get that version of the movie, Barry? It sounds hotter than the ghost pepper enema that hot wipes guy is selling at Walmart.
Yeah, so fast forward to 1990 and our good friends at New Line Cinema decide to pull the trigger on a $13.5 million budget live-action version of the film.
Yeah, and at this point in time, New Line is still considered an indie studio. They line up the aforementioned director, Steve Barron, who also directed that silly-ass Coneheads movie, along with literally every single music video you've ever watched from the 80s and early 90s.
Yeah, but more importantly for our purposes, Steve Barron had directed the Jim Henson series, The Storyteller, and of course he befriended the great man himself.
Yeah, and that's an important detail because if you're trying to make a live-action Ninja Turtles movie, you're gonna need to do a little better than spray painting Sam Kinison's balls green and then tossing him down into the sewer set from the made-for-TV It movie.
I thought Jim Henson didn't like to do movies that have violence and fighting.
Yeah, that's right, but he agreed to build the turtle suits as a favor to Steve Barron. And at the time, they were the most advanced animatronics that the Jim Henson Creature Shop had ever turned out. But don't take my word for it. Just listen to our good friend Brian Henson, Jim's son, whom you might remember from our review of Return to Oz.
Melted silver?
Yeah, he's the Pumpkinhead guy.
It was very seldom that we could actually shoot a shot where everything was working. It was like, uh-oh, we're gonna have to hold Donatello's eyes open with toothpicks.
It's been reported that the turtle suits alone cost over $5 million to produce, which was a considerable part of the movie's budget.
Yeah, and just as Brian Henson said, they're not perfect. Look closely. You can see the Donatello actor's disgusting flip-flapping oral mouth, and it completely ruins my willing suspension of disbelief.
Bro! What in the is that?
And now we've seen through the eye of the motherfucking needle.
Sweet and sour Christ, that is horrible.
That's almost as horrifying as the last meth head Barry brought home.
Ooh! The one who refused to flush after she used the toilet?
Hey, nobody was forcing you to look in the goddamn toilet.
Anyway, the turtle costumes do look pretty great, all things considered.
Yeah, they did look pretty good. Bro, you should see what them shits look like today. You'll have nightmares.
They look just like those withered old broads that Barry likes to pick up from the nursing home.
You can go directly to hell, Bovon. Mako did a similar bit like 10 seconds ago. That's a goddamn building. I will not tolerate.
I think we can all admit that the production here ain't perfect. I mean, there's a scene where you can clearly see a crew member trying and failing to stay out of frame. And look how fake and squishy Raphael looks after he falls through the skylight.
Yeah, Barry, talk about the cast. You tubby old grouper fish looking bag of piss.
Well, one of the ways they saved money on this movie was by casting relative unknowns. I mean, half the cast in this movie goes around in animal suits, but you might recognize hot Judith Hoag as April O'Neil, New York's version of Andrew Callahan. Yeah, J. Hoag was also in that movie Cadillac Man, and she showed up in a bunch of TV shows.
Barry, she's in that Armageddon movie that you made so much fun of.
Yeah, then we got Shredder's henchman, Tatsu, who's played by Toshishiro Obata. Yeah, this guy's in that movie Showdown in Little Tokyo, and he's got bit parts in Demolition Man and some other movies, but that's about it. Meanwhile, the Shredder, a.k.a. Oroku Saki, is played by James Saito, whose career consists mostly of TV shows. But if you ask me, he does a damn fine job.
Yo, White Goodman, don't forget about Casey Jones, bruh. He's played by Elias Koteas, who was in The Thin Red Line. Bro, I think he f***ing crushes it.
teach you.
Yeah, now that's just perfect casting. And if you look closely after Casey Jones beats the piss out of Raph, you can see the performer clutching at his nose. That's because the animatronic head caved in and broke his goddamn nose. And that's how movies were made in 1990. Not like today.
Yeah, not like today.
And as many of you lowlives already know, Ninja Turtles also marks like the first movie appearance of the great Sam Rockwell.
Regular or mental?
First movie? Bro, you're not even gonna count 1989's Clown House?
Would you shut up, please?
And what in the fuck is Clown House, you little pissant?
Clown House is fantastic, Barry. You pre-diabetic Philistine.
It's a clown slasher, bro. Bunch of kids get held captive in their house and have to battle some psychopaths pretending to be circus clowns.
You telling me Sam Rockwell appears in a movie called Clown House?
Sounds like the kind of movie we'd review on this bunk-ass channel.
No more Clown House, ass wipes. Old Barry's still the captain of this sinking ship. Anyway, some of the voice actors are probably familiar to you. Even if you don't know him by name, you've probably seen and heard of Josh Pais.
What the heck was that? Looked like sort of a big turtle in a trench coat.
He performs the role of Raphael, including that heavy-ass Brooklyn accent.
Yeah, Leo, I'm crazy, okay? A loony, okay?
Yo, that old boy played Arthur Fleck's boss.
Look, I like you, Arthur. You know, a lot of the guys, they think you're a freak, but I like you.
But perhaps the wildest casting story is that of young Corey Feldman, who voiced Donatello. Allegedly, the producers claimed that since this was a small indie film, it probably wouldn't turn a profit, and they could only afford to pay him $1,500.
Here goes, Gackface.
Can you believe that shit, Fly? The movie grossed over $200 million in 1990 money, and poor old Corey got 0.00075% of it.
Barry, don't even try to balk at $1,500. Bro, for $1,500, I could get you to drink a gallon of expired pig milk right out of Joey Diaz's diseased colon.
While Wee Man bangs your ex-wife.
And Steve-O does a full recital of Pete Davidson's last Netflix special.
Nor would I spill a single exquisite drop.
Barry, I don't think we need to go through the entire fucking plot, but at least tell us something about the story here.
For starters, this movie sets up the age-old trope of the big, bad New York City that's overrun with crime and gang-related activity. In fact, those pesky MTV-addled teenagers are up to no good. And thanks to the Shredder, they've set up a special underground lair where they can play Call of Duty and watch sibling porn and vape and drink gamer subs and stay up way past their bedtimes.
Hey, fun fact, this part of the movie was actually filmed in North Carolina, and they used this location for Dino Hatton in that crazy-ass Mario Brothers movie.
Yes. Most of this movie was shot in North Carolina because it was cheaper, with just a few pickup shots of New York included in order to complete the illusion.
Kind of like how you pull off the illusion that you wearing pants. Ain't that right, Barry?
Or like that time Bovon tried to glaze Joe Rogan's bald little grundle to get a career in stand-up comedy.
Whoa, Nellie! No more tampons in the school litter boxes. Am I right?
Oh, shut up! This guy sucks.
Tell you what, gang, my pronouns are KYS.
This guy's a fucking hack.
Ah, come on, Joe. I did what you asked. Give me some money.
Boo! Get lost!
You cheap, bald little prick.
Enough! So, at its most fundamental level, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles is a story about family. Even the brand of weird-ass family that we get with the Turtles. Yeah, we'll say more about that in just a minute.
Friends, if you're watching our slop, then you probably already know how the Ninja Turtles origin story works.
Yeah, the movie version hews more closely to the Eastman and Laird graphic novels than the cartoon. Through some well-executed Jim Henson puppetry, it's revealed that Oroku Saki murdered Tang Shin and Hamato Yoshi, whose pet rat mutated into what we now know as Master Splinter.
Yeah, who was exposed to the same mutagen as the Turtles.
Yeah, and back in the 1980s, all Asian movie characters were supposed to be obsessed with either gadgetry or martial arts. So Splinter, who picked up ninjutsu off of Hamato Yoshi, has been teaching the Turtles how to do ninja shit since they were babies.
Which means they believe in things like honor and discipline and not spending your whole life down in the basement gooning or whatever.
Which must be juxtaposed to the more dysfunctional family dynamic that we see within the Foot Clan.
Family.
This dysfunctional family thread gets illustrated pretty ham-fistedly by the Danny character.
Yeah, Danny's got a bald nerd for a daddy, and they just can't connect.
Danny, damn it! Danny, come back here!
And apparently, young Danny's got a massive obsession with the Sex Pistols. Seriously, every shirt this goddamn kid wears is emblazoned with the mug of Sid Vicious. So it's no wonder that he and discount Stephen Tobolowsky share so little in common.
So, you're saying the Foot Clan kind of sucks as a surrogate family?
Well, the arcade is pretty goddamn cool, but even by old Barry's standards, it's too abusive. Shredder and Tatsu are exploiting the little shit-ass kids by indoctrinating them and getting them to steal every toaster in the Lower East Side.
I see your point, Barry. I mean, it's hard to imagine Master Splinter dropping bows on Donatello for eating the last Kraft single or whatever.
What about the fact that the Turtles live down in the sewer like f***ing Pennywise? Does that signify anything?
Yeah, why is it that throughout the whole movie, nobody complains about the overwhelming smell of shit? Yet every time I bring a date down to the wet works, that's all they can talk about.
Man, because you gotta remember, jackass. This is a movie about family and discipline. The Turtles are kind of like old Barry here. They're physically revolting. They can't get laid. They smell like an elephant's ass. And they're so broke they gotta set up shop down in the pipes. Even though their ninja skills are so good, they'd be way better at stealing than the Foot. Oh, yes, friends. The Ninja Turtles could steal their weight in early 90s CRT TVs and first-generation rollerblades and Game Boys and whatnot, if they chose to. But they keep their stinking humility by inhabiting the sucky-ass sewer. No ultra-high-def flat screens, no platinum necklaces, no stupid-ass shiny watches.
Well, Barry, I mean, that's not a very good analogy, bruh. I guess you could argue that the Turtles choose to live in the sewer. But you, on the other
You little
hand...
son of a bitch. The point is that they live a humble and Spartan existence. And Splinter is a much better surrogate daddy than Shredder and his romantic life partner, Tatsu. Seriously, these two are the worst gay parental unit in cinematic history.
So, this movie's a parable about the dangers of materialism?
Yeah, well, that load of butt chuff would never fly today, bro. Good luck convincing little kids that they're better off living in the sewer. Their heroes are fucking Andrew Tate, Dana wife-slapping White, and the goddamn Nelk Boys.
Yeah, it's a tough sell, Fly. I won't deny it. Anyway, throughout most of the movie, we're not supposed to know that Shredder is actually a Rokusaki, because it's something of a revenge story.
Ooh, kind of reminds me of the Uncle Ben thread from the Spider-Man saga.
No, Shania, dumbass. It's more like the 1989 Batman in terms of the revenge arc. Yeah, even as a young Barry, I understood that much.
Well, Barry, how did you even manage to watch this movie when you were a kid? Bro, you know you didn't have enough money to go to the theater.
Yeah, I had to wait for it to come out on video cassette.
But you said your family never got a VCR.
Yeah, but my neighbor Keith had one. I used to watch through his window and make up my own dialogue.
Oh, kind of like that Ninja Turtles parody thing?
Get your ass, give me some soda pop. Hurry up. Put one ice cube in that motherfucker. Unless you want to get back on this dick, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, be quiet, Marco. That guy's jokes hit a lot harder than ours. Now, let's get back to the film's overriding themes, because I think one of our viewers has pretty much the right idea. Here's our old pal, Mr. Hinton, who mentions the stellar turtle suits and the wonderfully noir aesthetics in the film. But he also says the movie touched on how to learn to live and love after our parents are gone. and how to go about finding a family when you're rejected by society, etc. And you know what? God damn it, he's right. Brrr! Mama!
Mama!
Brrr! I miss you, Mama!
Barry, Mama! Where have all the cowgirls gone?
Yo, I miss my mama too.
Mama!
Brrr! Mama!
Wah! I used to bang your mama, Barry. God, how I miss those thin, rat-like lips.
Brrr! You were a shit-ass mama, but I guess you did the best you could.
Your mama was the dirtiest bird, Barry. Oh, she'd be deeply ashamed of you.
Piss off, Bovon. Old Barry's having a moment.
Yeah, well, my mom crapped out like 100 eggs and then split for Vegas. So don't expect me to get all sentimental. But I don't get it, Barry. How is this a movie about our parents being gone? Master Splinter's still around when the movie ends.
Yeah, but he spends at least half the movie locked up inside Shredder's gulag, so the turtles gotta figure out how to rely on themselves.
Sort of like Stand By Me?
Well, that's why we get this badass scene where the turtles do DMT and the campfire starts talking to him about the machine elves and infinite recursion and shit.
Pulling my apples on fire.
Yeah, baby. Not
Joy.
Yeah, which is exactly what happened to the five of us that time we did DMT and old Barry lit the couch on fire.
Yeah, except the turtles don't end up getting nude and ordering $200 worth of Jimmy John's.
I guess Barry's got a point. April O'Neil is kind of like a surrogate mom. You know, she's always cooking pizzas and shit for the turtles.
Yeah, but don't they also kind of want to bang her?
Yeah, well, I guess it's confusing being a humanoid turtle who lives in the sewer. We can't even be sure if they've got actual dicks inside those shells. But for a movie that places most of its focus on a bunch of animatronic cartoon characters, I guess the message it offers isn't so bad. It's been said that youth is wasted on the young, and perhaps we could say the same about parents. It's only when their health and their mental faculties have begun that slow and steady decline that we learn to truly appreciate them. I mean, yes, Splinter is still alive at the end of the movie, but if you're paying attention, it becomes all too obvious that he's locked in a futile race against the clock. Any day now, the turtles can expect to find him.
And Barry?
Time to get paid.
Look alive, gang! Gather the neighbors and all your dumbass stepchildren that you pretend to love like your own. Maybe microwave some Hot Pockets and pour up some Dr. Thunder. We're all in for a goddamn treat. Say hello to a revolutionary new 3D board game from our good friends at Minton Bardley. It's time to test your luck and your strategic acumen with Escape from Fracky Top Mountain. Good old Fracky Top. Strangers ain't come down from Fracky Top. Okay, so, do you have what it takes to negotiate this Appalachian sensation? Friends, there's a major coal seam hidden deep inside Fracky Top, and you've got to make it down to Crystal Creek before the excavator goes hog wild on the mountaintop and causes a deadly landslide. Oh yes, friends! It's a mountain-themed adventure for the ages. Along the way, you and your dastardly opponents will traverse perilous mountain switchbacks patrolled by vicious black bears, rabid cougars, deranged backwoods moonshiners, dynamite traps, and scariest of all, surly mining company stooges.
Oh, shit. So Bovon landed us a sponsorship with Exxon?
But the entertainment's only half the fun. Escape from Fracky Top Mountain will also teach you and your kiddos valuable lessons about Appalachian economics, as well as some complicated shit about the environment. And if you can advance your token to Crystal Creek before the spoil poisons its pristine waters, you get to have your very own glorious lump of coal, along with a fat, sweaty wad of hush money from the mining authorities. And, maybe they'll throw in some decent lager for the kiddos. Listen, it's fun for all ages. But don't breathe those fumes. This little son of a bitch really is coal-powered.
Jesus. The promo code is clean coal. Fuck us all.
Game on.
Okay, folks, old Barry's already overcome with shame, so let's throw it over to Al and see what he's got to say.
Beneath the green rubber suits and comic absurdity, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles offers a parable about the surprising power of being a misfit. For to be a mutant is to embody visibly what we all feel inwardly, that we are not quite at home in this world, that our bodies, desires, and thoughts bear the marks of some alien other. The turtles live in the sewer not only because society would reject them, but because they represent the hidden dimensions of ourselves, the part that we repress as readily as we flush and forget our own bodily waste. It's the awkward, the uncanny, the inconvenient faces of our existence that we conceal beneath a veneer of normality. Yet the film insists that this so-called deformity is in fact evidence of an unexpected wholeness. For each turtle has his temperament, fiery, reflective, joyful, brooding, and together they form a harmony greater than any isolated note. Mutation in this sense is not a flaw, but the very engine of creativity, the departure from mediocrity that allows new forms, new melodies to find expression. The turtles teach us that wholeness is not sameness, but the rhythmic clash of irregularities and aberrations. Our mutant qualities, our eccentricities, quirks, and shadows are not barriers to belonging, but the very path that ferries us toward authenticity. And so in the profoundly dank labyrinth beneath New York City, we are reminded of an ancient truth. The outsider is, paradoxically, the insider, if only we recognize that life itself is a marvelous mutation, a transient disturbance of the otherwise lifeless void. To be mutant is simply to be fully, unapologetically alive.
Easy for you to say, asswipe. Let's see you talk about being unapologetically alive when you got a face like mine.
Yo, speaking of mutants, Barry, Bovon gave birth to your child in the last episode. Are we just gonna gloss over that?
My web-based doctor says it's not actually a baby. Some kind of butt-dwelling parasite. Probably somewhere in the tapeworm family.
Yeah, but it looks exactly like you.
Shit-ass fly. I will admit that there's some level of resemblance, but the doc says it's coincidental. Besides, it's a moot point. One of them ICE agents said it qualified as an immigrant, and now it's in their custody.
Damn. I'm sorry, Barry. I guess now you'll never get to pass on your pitiful, pitiful genes.
Okay, folks. So Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles grossed over $200 million against a budget of like 13.5. You do the math. It was the highest grossing indie movie of all time until the Blair Witch Project, which came out in 1999. And against all odds, old Barry would still argue that the movie that features animatronic talking turtles holds up way better than the goddamn phony fake witch documentary.
Bangarang. And even though a lot of jokes have aged about as well as Shania's prison wine, this Bad Larry still contains some genuinely funny moments.
Oops.
Plus, Eastman and Laird's iconic turtles went on to inspire like 1,000 different copycat products, including the motorcycle space rats, the shark force, and the one with the muscular frogs.
Yeah, so that's all we got for now, folks. Tune in next time. Mako's gonna show us all how to make our very own hallucinogenic fruit roll-ups in a toaster oven, so you kiddos can stay awake in math class. And then we're gonna live stream Bovon as he tries to complete the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles game on the original Nintendo system.
Uncle Bovon's gonna show you how it's done, kiddos. Well, lick my unwashed ass. No! You're a pot-bellied traitor, Barry. This game makes me want to commit a hate crime against the devs.
See you next time, asswipes.
I just had a rough night.
Well, let somebody else
That's what?
cover City Hall.
Charles, that's ridiculous. Hand me a towel, will you?
Where do you keep the towels?
Charles, no!
What's wrong?
I just don't want you to see my unsightly bathtub ring.
Peekaboo,
Get
dooty-poo.
out!
Midlife Crisis Poverty Turtles is streamed in front of a live studio audience.
I've heard of living in shitty apartments, but this is ridiculous.
Hey, shut the hell up, Michelangelo.
Barry.
Now, somebody's gonna answer for my missing Turtle Tracks ice cream. Do you asswipes have any idea how hard it is to shoplift a carton of ice cream from a bodega when you're a 300-pound turtle?
Yo, Barry, you suck.
There, asswipe.
This shit is cringe.
Fess up, Bovonardo. You ate my ice cream again, didn't you?
I didn't eat your goddamn ice cream, Burr Raphael. I was in the goon room, downloading the latest volume of Testadine's Gone Wild.
Big Bovon. Yes!
Maybe Shania Tello did it.
Yeah, it was me, but I had no choice. My shell's already down a size and a half. One more week of starvation and I'll be heading for that big turtle bowl in the sky.
Wow, another niece left.
Kinda weak.
Seriously, gang, I know this is a cute premise and all, but I think I might have typhoid fever. I mean, great Christ, we haven't seen the sun in weeks.
Hey, Bovonardo, if you can't handle the dank, maybe you should, rob yourself a bank. We're poor, you wrinkly old buzzard. Deal with it.
I want to see the ocean again before I die. Help me, Michelangelo.
Bovonardo must have himself confused with a sea turtle.
Clunker.
I'm being serious. Dr. Fly says the vomiting and diarrhea are chronic at this point.
Go! You're the master, Bovon! Get it, Bovon! Barry, sucks!
God damn it, you little pisshead!
And if I don't get some fluids into me, my poor old heart's gonna...
Sounds like somebody woke up on the wrong side of the effluent.
We hear that weak sauce!
Smug little sick as shit, I'm wearing a tunnel.
Piss off, Barry!
I need real medical attention, you heartless swine!
Shut the hell up, Bovon. Need you to line up them dusty knuckles. We fixin' to brawl.
Everything smells like shit.
Hey, Barry! Man, screw you!
Eating seeds is a pastime activity.
That coffee is for closers.
Sucking on a chili dog outside the tasty breeze.